In certain extreme situations, the law is inadequate. In order to shame its inadequacy, it is necessary to act outside the law, to pursue natural justice. This is not vengeance. Revenge is not a valid motive, it's an emotional response. No, not vengeance. Punishment.
Tonight we have a chance to say, yeah, you're right. We're too extreme, we're too wild, we're too out of control, we're too full of our own shit. Or we have a chance to say, hey, fuck you, you're wrong. Fuck you, we're right. Because you have all made it to the dance. Because believe me, this is the dance. Start the show.
Oh, I cleared my throat right into the mic. I didn't know it wasn't muted. What an unprofessional broadcaster. Welcome to the show, kids. It's the Steel Toe Evening Show. And the morning people did you a favor again. You guys have been being really nice to each other this week. I mean, evening show's been a lot nicer to the morning show. And I have to credit you guys. You're incredible. All's Fair in Love and War is in first at $340, and I think 320 of that was last night. So thank you so much. And then the morning show audience did you guys a solid today. They got you, I think, like $35-40 in. What are we tonight? What's the number? 165? Yeah, that's like a bunch of 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, honestly, for the next 2 hours. It's like 165 is just a consistent stream of 2s and 5s, and we'll knock that out. Like the 2-4 poker table. So thank you guys very much. Very nice. Final evening goal of the week, to call it a perfect set of evening shows. We were able to take out Monday's loss. Take out this morning. Thank you guys so much. So we've got a lot to talk about. Should we start? What do you think? Do you want to? We should start with court today. I had the big court date today. I just feel bad because so many people are going to be so disappointed by this. Like, we can go into it, but like if you're expecting a 15-20 minute Stalin clip or Alyssa clip. I feel bad when I mention Clippers by name now because I'm going to leave one out, and I like them all. Even the ones that don't like me. If they put clips of my show up there, it's just more eyeballs on Steel Toe, so I appreciate that. There's nothing personal. I had somebody write me today, and they were all upset with me. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to keep doing my show my way, and you don't have to like the things I say. And they're like, don't change the narrative on me. I'm like, I'm not changing the narrative. You came to me angry about something I said. I told you why I said it. Like if you go to someone, here's the thing. Here's a bullshit move. If someone criticizes you and then you like DM them and are like, well, here's what you don't understand. It's actually like this. Like, no offense to Nick, but he does that. And like me, I don't have time. That's just weird. That's weird behavior. But like if someone else writes to you, and then you go, well, here's why I did that. And then they just keep bombarding you with messages. It's like, I'm not trying to spin you, dude. Like, that's like someone coming into your house and yelling at you about how your dishes are put away. And I'm like, motherfucker, that's how I put away my dishes. Like, what are you doing here? And they're like, quit trying to change the narrative on your dishes. I'm like, they're my dishes. My narrative is the only one that matters on my fucking dishes. Now, if I go into your house and I start shitting on your dishes, you got yourself a different story. But when it comes to what happened today, I mean, I'm sorry to Alyssa Clips. I'm sorry to Stalin. They're the ones who do the most clipping of Steel Toe, I think, don't they? Doom does a good job. I would say Doom, Stalin, Alyssa Clips, Will Heron. Would those be the top 4 steel toe clippers? I don't know. Some weeks it can be my lost interest. But I think when it comes to talking about the court thing today, I did, in fairness, I gave fair warning. This is kind of like that thing I always talk about where I set people up for what it's going to be, and then it ends up being that, and then they get mad that it wasn't more than that, and then they yell at me, and I'm like, but I wasn't lying. I fucking told you. Like, I told you what it was going to, people are like, no, but you're lying. I'm like, no, I clearly wasn't. That's exactly what it was. You create a world you want to live in, and then you project that onto me, and then when it becomes exactly what I told you it was, it's a wild place. It's why I always say you got to go touch grass, and you got to go just live a real life, because otherwise internet world will just like consume you. And these people are fucking crazy. So court today was this. My lawyer came in. He said, we're going to have a 2-month. Yeah. Root says Aaron is playing 4D chess, right? Aaron couldn't be playing more 1D chess. Like, I'm Forrest Gump running through a pile of dog shit, and everyone thinks it's like some 4D move. I'm like, no, it happens sometimes. So like today, here was my court experience. My lawyer and I get together, and he said, boy, just more crazy shit from the other side. Not the lawyers or the attorneys, the prosecutors, but like other people. Like other people just keep doing wild, crazy shit for our investigators to look into, and it just keeps coming in, and there's so much shit. We don't have our full investigator report yet, and that's something that's very important. And we're like, we're going to ask for a 2-month continuance. And we did, and everyone was fine with it. And it's apparently this is my first time through this whole process. This is a completely normal thing. And so end of January, we'll pick it back up again. Like I said, I'm as happy as you can be in the situation I'm in with the way things are going. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I don't want to get like the fan fiction around this in general. When I go on Twitter and stuff is crazy enough. And I'm like, should I write anything or should I say anything? And I'm like, no, don't say anything. Don't write anything. That's like my position on the internet has always been, let people run with what they want to run with. That's like part of their fun, right? Let them have their theories. So I just went in today. He said, we're going to ask for 60 days. We got 60 days. Now we wait. Because, okay, so what happened was, and I'll give you the most I can, because I don't want to give people things that are going to get people's hopes up. I don't want to give people things that are going to make people read too much into things, but I also, want to keep them up to, I feel like this has been very public, so I want to keep them abreast. I want to keep them abreast of what's going on as much as I can. There is an investigator's report that's coming out, but more fucking info keeps coming in because certain people keep doing crazy fucking shit. And as they keep doing crazy shit, the investigator's like, all right, now I got to dig into this. Now I got to look into this. Now I got to see that. So it's really out of our control. People keep doing wild shit. And when they do wild shit that could help your case, you have to investigate it so you know what's up. So our investigator's doing that. There's also the possibility, the other reason why we need 60 more days is because there is how do I say this? There's a pretty common belief amongst multiple people that there are charges coming in a different case that could tangentially benefit our case that we have to wait for as well. So 60 days, everything should be settled. We should have unless people keep doing retarded shit, like 60 days, because we didn't even get an offer today. There was no settlement conference today. It wasn't like we went in there, we sat down, we hammered out a deal. Like, we've heard nothing yet. And we're not going to hear anything until late January. And like I said, I'm pretty happy with the way things are. My attorney talked with the prosecutor. Everyone seems... It just, like, I'll say this, from the very beginning of this whole thing, it's been very businesslike. I haven't said, there's been no animosity on either side. There's been no, like, shit like that. It's all been, I can't complain. It's as pleasant as this kind of thing can be. It's been as pleasant as possible. So 60 days, we didn't sit down. We didn't discuss anything. We sat down. Judge still really pissed about the streaming thing, about Ralph's thing. Judge and prosecutor, and of course we weren't happy with it either, but our opinion doesn't fucking matter. I can't remember if it was the prosecutor or the judge who said, hey, let's mute the fucking Zoom thing because we're not fucking with that again. Apparently that caused the prosecutor's office to have a lot more work than they wanted to do, and they were not thrilled. Put it this way, the prosecutor's office did seem very unhappy that they had to deal with Ethan fucking Ralph. They were not pleased. And I think that's maybe why that I think that's probably why they've been so, like, everything's been so professional between all of us, because I think they've had to deal with, they had to deal with all that bullshit, and who wants to? I don't blame them, So it was, can we mute the Zoom thing? Okay, cool. We asked for the 60-day continuance. Nobody has a problem with it. It's totally cool. And now we're doing that. That's it. I wish I had something more exciting. I know Meow Meow is in the chat going, are you buying any of this shit? There's nothing to buy. There's nothing to buy. This wasn't, I'm not coming out of this going, this is fucking great. This is awesome. Or, oh my God, this is shitty. This is awful. Literally nothing. It's whatever it was a week ago is exactly what it is now. It's the same exact thing. Yeah, Lost Chaos Synthesizer says it's a continuance. It's pretty common. That's it. I see a lot of people have these conspiracy theories. They're like, they're getting the charges dropped, and we didn't even talk to each other. There was no, we're just not there. We've got an investigator's report that's coming up. I'm excited about that, obviously. That's kind of like our big counterpunch. And then, again, there's rumors of charges, and we'd like to, and we feel that it kind of tangentially pertains to what we're doing, so we'd like to see what happens with that as well. And nobody had a problem with it, so on we go. That's what happened today. Doom Clone says nothing burger. Bingo. Hey, Doom Clone, help me out, buddy. What did I say it would be this morning? What did I say to I'm going to wait for Doom Clone because I trust him. He's a good narrator. Doom Clone, what did I say it would be this morning? What did I say to expect this morning from today's hearing? What did I tell you? What did I tell you? I'm waiting for Doom. I don't care what the rest of you say. If Doom's busy, we wait for Doom. Let's go ahead and see. You know, it would be really funny if Doom just decided to sit at his computer and stare like this and go, I wonder how long he'll wait. Doom Clone says, you were right. You said it wasn't going to be much. And, I'll be honest, it's less than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be not much more, but a little more. It was even less than that. It's just, hey, nothing's ready. Let's just wait another 60 days. That's all. Snowcat Tish, without reading that out loud for everyone. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly one of the things we're waiting on, is to figure out what the official report is on that. And if that was violated, then yes, that's something that we do need to bring up. That would be a point of concern for us. That is something that we would object to quite severely. So no changes. Nothing's, like I said, whatever it was last week, That's what it is right now. So I know there's a lot of people online, they're theorizing, they're going, Aaron's going to get everything dropped. Aaron's going to get this. If that's the case, let me say this. If that's the case, you know a hell of a lot more than I know. So I don't believe that's the case right now. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, fucking Denny, always going live against the toe. What the fuck? Turtle Steel Shell, that specifically would be involved in criminal charges, but that particular act wouldn't have any impact on what I'm doing. Thank you very much. Funeral director. Oh, no, I lost it. Where'd it go? Funeral director with $2 goes, so you plead guilty and have to serve 60? Dang, bro. No. No, we got a 60-day continuance. If I was serving 60, I wouldn't be here. This is not my setup from the jail. Las Tejas says, your lawyer is... No. It's not like an hourly thing. It's just you establish a number and you throw that number in there. Not that it matters. It's not important. But I feel like I really do. I feel like I'm letting everyone down right now. But I'm not going to make anything. I'm not going to come out and, do that weak paces shit where I go, it was a good day, or it was crazy awesome, or, oh, I'm just really sad. It wasn't really much of anything. And I know that this is a gossipy group. I know this is a group that really wants their info and they want it now, and I'm the source. I have nothing for you. That's it. Snowcat Tish says, you're not streaming from prison right now with a giant green screen? If it was 60 days, it would be the county jail. It would not be the prison. That's number one. The prison is for 365 days or more. The county jail would be 364 days or less. Bapa Shab writes, court is fun, Aaron Imholte. That's not what I said. I didn't say court was fun. I said this whole experience has been as professional as I imagine it can be. I have no animosity towards anyone working in it. I think everyone has done a spectacular job. I think everyone has conducted themselves very well, from judge to prosecutor to defense attorney. To even myself, I'll give myself credit. I show up, I shut my fucking mouth, and I let everybody else talk. So that's about the extent of it for me. All right, so let's continue on with the show. Like I said, I feel like I'm letting everybody down, and I apologize for letting everybody down, but what can I tell you? That's all I have. Let's go to the chat. Let's see. Now let's get to the part where I see the questions from the audience and I have no answer for them and they get even more upset with me. Mr. Beat says, tell us the truth, damn it. Not only am I telling you the truth, there is no more truth even the truth is nothing because nothing has happened yet. I don't know what to say. Los Tejas Synthesizer says, Aaron 2024, fuck your court. No, that's not what I said. As a matter of fact, I believe I just said the opposite of that. And I said everyone's been incredibly professional. Oh, boy. Roots Calhoun says, if you throw Aaron at the wall, if he sticks, his arms are done. Thank you, Roots Calhoun. Helgi says, we have been here since the beginning, and I hope it drags out as long as possible. Thanks. I appreciate that. Taste Fairy Ialto says, the workhouse would be ideal for Aaron. Get some calluses on those soft hands. I have a couple. I have one right here. And that's it. It's not even on my jerking off hand either, so you can't accuse me of that. Rexstart Parody account says, can we settle this all on Judge Mathis already? I'm sorry. No, I don't think so. Jonesy the Cat says, not remarkably professional. I don't know what that means. Los Tejas says, so Aaron, just between you, me, and the internet, you left your shit logged on that computer on purpose, didn't you? No, I didn't. You're saying I set the whole thing up. No, you have to really think that someone's really fucking stupid to set something like that up. And I guess I underestimated stupidity. Aaron has calluses from sleep jacking raw. I don't think that's the case. So anyway, I'm sorry, guys. I wish I had more for you. I don't. It's all I've got. It's all I've got. Nothing happened today. 60 days later. Welcome to the system. Aaron, it happened. You were at least that stupid. Oh, with the leaving the thing on. Brittany Boo enters the chat and goes, "How did today go?" It didn't. 60-day continuance. That's how today went. Deutsch Chad says, life sentence probably. Yeah, let's go with life sentence. There you go. Nana's Clam says those calluses are from jerking other guys off. Claire OKC. These are none of these are correct. None of these are correct. 165 away from today's goal. Thank you guys very much. Let's move on. Let's do a show. I'm sorry that I've disappointed everyone. I have no big news for you today. It was in and out. It was 5 minutes. The only thing that sucked was that there was a case before me. There was a felony DUI case before me. A guy was being sentenced for a felony. Like, it wasn't even his first, but it was like a bad felony DUI. And that went a little bit longer. Otherwise, I would have been out of there. Like, honestly, parking lot to parking lot, 10, 15 minutes. But it took probably about 30 minutes because we had to wait for that one. All right, let's dig into some stuff, shall we? Klopogram, thank you for sending me this. I've been following this today, but I didn't have a link for this evening. It does look like Bill Belichick is going to be the North Carolina Tar Heels' next head coach. This shocked the hell out of me. Klopo, I don't know if it shocked you. I didn't even think a college team was a possibility for Bill Belichick. I thought for sure he would take another NFL gig and try to win a Super Bowl with another team, but not the case. Would he be the only head coach to win a Super Bowl with multiple teams? Andy Reid hasn't. Parcells didn't. Belichick never did. I think he'd be the only head coach to win Super Bowl. Gruden only won with Tampa. Dungy only won with the Colts. Holmgren only won with the Packers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Belichick would have been the only head coach to win Super Bowls with multiple teams. But he decided to go the college route. Now, if you would have said Bill Belichick was going to be coaching a college football team, first of all, I wouldn't have believed that one. But the team that I would think he would have went to would be like an Alabama or a Miami or Florida State, like a really prestigious program. People don't typically think football when they think of North Carolina. They think basketball. They think baseball. They really don't think football. So Belichick going to the Tar Heels is pretty interesting. I'm guessing what they did was they just made him, the Lord of Tobacco Road. They just said anything you want. Apparently he came in with what they called, and I'm quoting, a Bible of conditions. So instead of them interviewing him and then offering him a contract, Bill Belichick basically wrote down this big old book. This is what I want to do. These are the terms you're going to accept, and then I'll come coach your program. And they said yes, and it's done. I mean, it was moving kind of quick. This morning, I know it was he possibly could be the next head coach of the University of North Carolina. Then this afternoon, when I got back from court, it was it's looking probable, likely that he's going to become the next head coach of the Tar Heels. And now tonight, he's agreed to become the next head coach of the University of North Carolina. In fact, this story broke 4 minutes before we went on the air. So thank you, Klopogram, for being very quick about that. You know what? Klopogram, get me your information. I give Clippers $5 when I use their clips. Send me your information. We'll give you, they did this in radio. They did this in the Associated Press. It's called a stringer fee. If you wrote a local news story and the Associated Press picked it up, they'd give you were a stringer and they'd pay you like, I think you got $100 a story. I could be wrong. So I think it's only right that we give Kloppo Graham a stringer fee on that story. And he can throw me his info however he can get it there. And we'll throw him a $5. What do you say? So, yeah, Bill Belichick, will it work? I don't think it's going to work. You look at all the powerhouse teams there are in college football. I mean, Big Ten, SEC alone, just those two. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think North Carolina is going to become this college football powerhouse just because Bill Belichick is going there to coach. And past his prime, Bill Belichick, we're not talking about like Belichick left Brady after the last Super Bowl and now he's going to coach UNC. We're talking about the Bill Belichick who the last time he was head coach, he was in charge of the Mac Jones flop. So I mean, hoodie sales for UNC are going to go through the roof. They'll sell a lot of hoodies this way. But I don't think North Carolina is going to become a big success under Bill Belichick. And isn't Bill like in his 70s? He doesn't have time to turn that shit around and spend like a decade there. I mean, the only thing I can see is that like you have the transfer portal now, so maybe you'll have a shitload of kids entering the transfer portal and they'll end up going to UNC, but you can't build a national title contender in a year out of that. So good luck. I'm sure he'll recruit well. I'm sure he'll do very well in the transfer portal. I'm sure he'll be able to build a decent team, but Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, like all these, Texas, Oklahoma, all these, power schools out there. I don't see the University of North Carolina becoming one. Doom Clone says, weird move with Bill here, or with Bill there, but better than him being a color commentator. Yeah, I mean, I think he gives good analysis, but he's got the charisma of a dying lizard. He's not the easiest thing to watch on television. Sam Show says, oh, Aaron, you sweet summer child. What, you think Bill's going to go there and just all of a sudden just light the world on fire and North Carolina is going to be Alabama? I don't think so. Triple N says they want to make Bill the next Deion Danders. I think he means Deion Sanders, but Deion Danders is a cool name. That's the name they would give Deion Sanders. Like, that's the name of the Colorado coach in NCAA Football 26 if Deion doesn't give them the rights to his name. Then they would just make a guy named Sion Danders. That would be his name. Roots Calhoun says, well, me and Nana Clams are owed hoodies. Send me your fucking info, asshole. I'll get you one. Sapphire says there was a local team that would play at the fairgrounds before the Canes arrived. Thank you. That's incredibly helpful to what we're talking about. Helgi says, North Carolina, come on and raise up. Take your sleeve hoodie and spin it around your head like retards. Thank you. Papa Shop says Bill wants 1,000 hoodies with the sleeves cut off before he even considers the job. Triple N says, a dying lizard. So Kumia? I saw a clip of Mersh and Gino, and like Mersh was trying to get Gino to shit on me, and Gino wouldn't do it. And then he tried to get Gino to join him in calling Anthony a pedo, and Gino wouldn't do it. I tell you what, like Gino has a weird way of doing interviews where people like really hate someone that Gino doesn't hate. And Gino does a good job of being really friendly with that person, but not like being a total snake. Which I know a lot of people are going to be mad that I didn't call Gino a snake there, but I thought he did a really good job with that Anthony question. Roots Calhoun says, I sent it to April when you guys were, still fucking married and that was her job. Oh, well then I apologize. Send it to me, Roots, and I'll take care of it for you. I promise. King of All Yetis says, I'm just waiting on Hobo to post him properly disposing of his steel toe merch. Yeah, where's that? Chad Buzamok says, you mean the clip we tried to get you to watch here, but you told us I don't get into that drama, but here we are. Just telling you about a clip I saw that I thought was interesting. Sorry. God. No, the original clip I watched, it was too long. Like, no, Lord knows, no offense to Mersh. He doesn't need more people piling on. It's not going well. But it was just really long and boring. Like it was, I'm not gonna like shit on someone too hard for thinking that long form equals good. Lord knows I've committed that sin enough, but that clip was just really too long and it would have bored the audience, I think. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says the clip where Mersh tells Gino they need to kill you. I didn't see that one. I didn't see the one where they said they needed to murder me. But I think it's cute. Why would Mersh think he needs to murder me? That seems a little extreme. Did he kind of get the taste of blood in his mouth when he almost killed Johnny and thought, you know what? I gotta pursue a kill. That's what it is. Mersh wants to turn Gino on you in the worst way, says Sapphire. Yeah, I mean, but Mersh is kind of a chicken shit like that. Like he's all the way 100% internet guy. But didn't Mersh like call the police for people trolling him? Does anyone have a clip of that? Like, didn't Mersh, I saw this on the Porcelain documentary. Didn't Mersh go to the police and like report Jesse P.S. and Alan Powell and someone else? Like, he talked to a fucking detective because people were saying mean things and sending him coleslaw on the internet. Jesse P.S. sent me coleslaw before. You know what I did? I enjoyed the coleslaw. It was fucking delicious. He got it from Lunds and Byerly's. That's like an expensive coleslaw as far as coleslaws go. Jesse P.S. bought me premium coleslaw. Jesse could have brought me a bag of dry coleslaw mix with like a coleslaw sauce and said, here, make it yourself, you fucking cunt. But Jesse P.S. went to the trouble of door dashing me Lunds and Byerly's coleslaw. And I must say it was really, I would never call the police on Jesse P.S. for ordering me coleslaw. That's really offensive. Like a guy tries to do something nice for you, tries to get you some coleslaw, and you talk to a fucking detective about it? Jesus, man. Talk about ungrateful. Yeah, people in the chat saying, I love coleslaw. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Mersh. Oh, where to go? Mersh telling Gino that the Weird Al tickets are really for you. Yeah, he's got a weird thing about the Weird Al tickets my daughter wanted for her birthday, too. He was really oddly obsessed with that. Aaron got those Weird Al tickets for him. My daughter likes Weird Al. I like Weird Al, too. Am I fucking pumped to go? I'm not going to pretend I'm not. Absolutely. But yeah, that's kind of a weird thing that you would call the police. And it was literally because people on the internet were trolling him. Like, big fucking deal. Could you imagine how busy our local police would be if I called the police because people are being mean to me? And didn't he quote Kiwi Farms? Like, technically, does that make Mersh the original Alyssa Mercante? Like, Mersh is kind of the Alyssa Mercante and Mersh are kind of, they're peas in a pod. They're both bitching about Kiwi Farms to the point where they involve the authorities. Jesus Christ, man. Sapphire says Mersh wants ideas on how to destroy Stuttering John. What's wrong? Is he running away from the steel toe grift already? Come on, Mersh. Have some balls. Don't run away from the steel toe grift. You haven't even called detectives on me yet. Come on. Don't run away from me yet, sweetheart. You going to Stuttering John, huh? Boy. When the going gets desperate, the desperate get going. He quoted Kiwi Farms in his letter to the police. Oh, my God. What a fucking asshole. Mersh is friends with Ralph and Nick. That should tell you everything you need to know. Well, I mean, that's a fair point. All right, guys. Thank you very much to Adam Simon for $1. We appreciate that. What are we looking at today? What's our number for tonight? 165 is our number for tonight. We'll do a half hour of overtime. And with that 165, if we knock that out, that'll make it a perfect week for Steel Toe. Clopogram says, have you enjoyed an old-fashioned or a Bloody Mary tonight? You know, it's funny you should say that. I did have myself an old-fashioned before the show. It was just, I needed something, you know? I just needed a little pick-me-up. So I had myself an old-fashioned. I have this cocktail smoking kit now You know, where I can put some wood chips in the little smoker thing and then take the torch lighter and smoke my old fashioned. So I did. I used oak chips this time. I oak smoked my old fashioned, and I had a really nice drink before the show. It was really good. Don't worry, I wasn't drinking alone. You know, SP was here. We watched the newest episode of Landman, which I fucking love that show. We watched Landman. She wanted to trim the bottom of the Christmas tree. The Christmas tree was bugging the shit out of her. So she trimmed off the bottom of that, made a grocery list, and she helped with a little bit of the board here. That's about it. Just darkening in the numbers. That's about all. So, yeah, that's been my evening so far. Sam Show says, aren't you the prettiest princess? Just a dainty girl who loves a good old-fashioned with oak smoke. All right, guys. Number one, All's Fair in Love is in first place at $340. Thank you very much. $340. Unbelievable, right? All's Fair in Love and War is the absolute best. Silver Wolf with $182 in second place. Flinty Gecko in third with $125. Doorman in fourth with $100. And Trucker 18-Wheeler nipping at his heels at $92. And there was, I think Chris O is up there too. Oh no, Chris O is at $100. I fucked that up. I'm sorry. Chris O is at $100. He's tied for fourth. And then Trucker 18-Wheeler is at $92. I like that name, Triple N, the Pay Pig Championships. There you go. In the Pay Pig standings, but it's the Chad Buzamak donor ratings for right now. So thank you, guys. 165 away from tonight. If you'd like to contribute, we appreciate it. We've made a whopping $3 tonight. $3. But that's about all the content you've gotten is about $3 worth. You know what, guys? Let's get away from all this court talk. Let's get away from all this Gino and Mersh and all this shit that nobody knows about. I want to, and I'm sorry if this makes me gay or whatever, I want to get into the Christmas spirit with you. Gift giving, you know, maybe it's because it's 6 degrees below zero tonight in Minnesota and there's a dusting of snow on the ground, but and I'm halfway through with my Christmas shopping. Christmas is in the air, and I just want to share that vibe with you. I want to share that attitude, and I think, you know what? Sometimes a commercial or an advertisement comes along, and it just puts you in the Christmas spirit, and you want to share that joy with everyone else. So without further ado, guys, let's fuck it. There's enough bad things in the world. Let's get in the Christmas spirit, shall we?
So dry. This winter dryness is not it, especially when I have so many holiday looks to pull off. Thankfully, I know just the thing. And it's in stock nearby. Hydrated skin is a gift to everyone. No wrapping needed. Happy holidays to me.
Do you feel like you're in the Christmas spirit now? Are you happy? Are you thrilled? Do you feel like now? Do you now feel like, you know, gift giving and Christmas trees and lights and inflatables and all of these things? Isn't that wonderful? Guys, Christmas is in the air. Along with that person's detached penis. Sam Show writes, this is Halloween. This is Halloween. That was, no, that was not a homosexual, guys. I believe that was a trans/non-binary person in a Google commercial. And the Google commercial was for Google shopping. It was not for dickendectomies. It was not for testosterone replacement therapy. It was Google shopping. And if we go back and watch the ad again, and I think it's important that we do, were they shopping for anus? Can we go back and see? Because I believe that this gentleman was anus shopping. Let's watch one more time.
So dry. This winter dryness is not it, especially when I have.
Yeah, when When you're taking large amounts of estrogen that's not supposed to be in your body, sometimes that can play the ones and twos with your skin dryness.
So many holiday looks to pull off. Thankfully, I know
Including woman, daughter, sister. You know, a lot of holiday looks that I'm not used to pulling off typically.
Thankfully, I know just the thing. And it's in stock nearby.
Did they just say that anus? They said anus is in stock nearby. Go back. They just said anus is in stock nearby. You got to pick a fucking street, ma'am. Are you going to be a chick or are you going to be a dude? All right? Are you going to be a butt pirate or are you going to be a lady? You got to pick a street. Can't go around going, I'm a lady. I'm a lady. I like to wear dresses. I'm so cute. And then go, oh, sorry. And then go out there and go, oh, I need some anus, whatever the fuck. Go back. She said there's anus in stock.
And it's in stock nearby.
Anus in stock nearby. Do my ears deceive me?
Wow.
Yeah. Looking for some anus. Women don't typically look for that. I don't meet too many girls who are looking for anus. So, forgive me. Sam Show says, yup, I heard anus. Triple N says, what the fuck was that song? I'm sorry, I bumped the Double J Jeff Jarrett drop here. Yeah. You don't know With My Baby Tonight? Wow. I mean, do you call yourself a wrestling fan from the mid-90s? How dare you? Loaded Wrench says, made me drop my phone and crack it.
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking faggot.
There you go. Copperhead with $10 says, let's pay the tow so he has money to get out of jail. Thank you. $2 from Trucker 18 Wheeler. He says, F Mersh, he's just as gay as this video. $1 from Dad Vet says, Aaron would totally lick his man goo. But I wouldn't. These are all terrible rumors that are being made out about me. Kiff with $1.99 says, you are the standard bearer for all XXY men. Hey, but wait a minute. That's an extra chromosome. Hey, I think he was trying to do a thing. 150 away from tonight. Thank you guys very much for those contributions, especially you, Copperhead, with the $10. I appreciate it. 150 is the number. Keep those going. I appreciate it. Streamlabs, PayPal, Venmo, Super Chats, and Rumble Rants. It is our final evening show of the week, and we're looking to end it on a perfect note. I appreciate you. All right, so now that we're all in the Christmas season, now that we're all happy and the Yuletide is clearly gay, we can move on to other news. Chad Buzamok says, it's like he really wants to do everything possible to let us know he is gay without just coming out. Oh, I'm sorry. So now all of a sudden, being inclusive and trying to be tolerant of other people is all of a sudden gay. You know what? That's a good point. I think that's the definition of gay, isn't it? Being tolerant and open to it. Well, fucking check and mate on that one then. Oh yeah, Taste Fair Alto, you're right. He says, even though it's actually Road Dogg singing it. That's true. Road Dogg is the one singing With My Baby Tonight, not Double J Jeff Jarrett. Double J Jeff Jarrett was lip syncing. Now I get to play it again. No Pen 15 Fathead with $2 says, whose cum tastes better, yours or Nick's? I have not tasted either one, I swear. Once again, I plead not guilty. Just because Nick has weird sexual fantasies that he projects onto the internet does not mean that they're true. My mouth has not tasted the flavor of man jizz. And you know what? I would like that streak to continue until the end of time, if I could quote Tupac Shakur. It looks like the bankruptcy judge has officially blocked the Onion's acquisition of InfoWars. And for good reason. A lot of the stuff we were talking about last night with the InfoWars stuff turned out to be true. We theorized that the Onion was underbidding, that they were not the highest bid. And we also thought that the number would be incredibly low and that they perhaps colluded with other leftist organizations, basically gave them the heads up, along with the Sandy Hook families, and told them, don't put in a bid, don't try to buy it, we're going to lowball the shit out of it, and we're going to get it. There were two bids, Alex Jones's supplement company and The Onion. Come on. Do you really think that The Onion was the only left-leaning publication that wanted to get InfoWars and turn it into a fucking joke? No, of course not. So definitely there was collusion between the Sandy Hook families, The Onion, and other media sources to not put in a bid so they could fuck over Alex Jones as much as possible. Alex Jones's supplement company put in $3.5 million as their bid. The Onion put in 1.75, and the judge accepted the 1.75, which, as you know, is bullshit, because if they, not only was the 3.5 million bigger, but if Alex Jones keeps the 3.5, or he keeps the InfoWars on the $3.5 million offer, he can continue generating revenue that can go to pay off the Sandy Hook families as the owner of InfoWars. So it was in the best interests of all parties involved to just let Alex Jones keep InfoWars and roll like that. But instead, this whole thing has never been about getting the Sandy Hook parents paid. It's never been about, getting that $1.5 billion settlement justly taken care of. It's from the very beginning been about fucking over Alex Jones and making life as miserable for him as possible. And that's what they tried to do with this. Thankfully, there's a bankruptcy judge in Texas who said, absolutely not. This is bullshit. You're going to redo it. So they're going to redo the auction. Alex Jones keeps InfoWars until then. And this new auction will be open. The bids will be open. And they'd have to take the highest bid. Which, again, this all could have been hammered out by now. It all could have been taken care of. But I'm sure they were worried that Elon Musk was going to buy it, or Alex Jones's supplement company was going to buy it, and that then Alex Jones would get to keep InfoWars. Well, if the interest is at the same level it was for this last auction, then it does look like more than likely Alex Jones will keep InfoWars, and he won't have to give it up. Or it will at least be owned by someone friendly to Alex, and he'll get to keep InfoWars, and he'll get to continue generating revenue on it, which, again, the Sandy Hook family should be happy about. If he can generate money, he can pay them back easier. But again, it's never been about paying them back. It's about humiliating Alex Jones. It seemed doomed almost from the moment they decided to go to a sealed bid, according to Judge Lopez. He said when handing down his decision, nobody knows what anybody else is bidding. The point of the sealed bid seemed to be keeping someone affiliated with Jones from buying the company. First United American Companies, which is affiliated with Jones online stores selling nutritional supplements, lost out at the auction despite offering a bid of $3.5 million, which was twice as large as The Onion's $1.75 million bid. The Onion bid $7 million to acquire InfoWars, which included $1.75 million from its parent company, Global Tetrahedron, while the remainder would come from Sandy Hook families, one from their lawsuit against Jones. So basically, they'd be robbing Peter to pay Paul. Despite this roadblock, Global Tetrahedron still intends to pursue an acquisition of InfoWars with the goal of replacing the site with a relentless barrage of humor for good. I mean, you can if you want to, but InfoWars has been instrumental in revealing shit that our government's been doing behind our backs that is extra constitutional and highly illegal and very New World Ordery. I mean, InfoWars has been first on a lot of stuff. I would argue that the important work that InfoWars has done exposing things that at one point were thought to be conspiracy theories but ended up to be actual true conspiracy theories is more important to the American people than any lies that Alex Jones may have told about Sandy Hook or any inaccurate information Alex may have given out about the Sandy Hook shooting. I think the Onion, I know that they look at themselves as the good guys, but the Onion buying InfoWars and turning it into some kind of mockery thing is, I mean, all they're doing is they're doing the favor of the wealthy ruling class, the elites. So congratulations. Hey, we're going to take InfoWars and we're going to make it we're going to make it a goof. We're going to make it a court jester for the elites. All right, great. So it goes from a watchdog group that held government overreach of both parties to the fire, because Lord knows Alex Jones was really hard on the Bush administration. You're going to turn it into something that billionaires and oligarchs, probably, honestly, what the Onion wants to do with InfoWars, I bet you people like the Onion are giggling and snickering at Luigi Mangione killing that Health Partners CEO. I bet you what the Onion's doing with InfoWars, United Healthcare would love that they're doing that. They would think it's great, because I bet InfoWars would shine a lot of light on the dirty shit the healthcare industry does. So congratulations to the Onion. They can stick it to Alex Jones, and they can basically be a propaganda arm for people they claim to hate. Really. Helgi says Tetrahedron Global sounds very family friendly and Main Street mom and popish. That really does sound like a fucking shady organization, does it not? Global Tetrahedron. About Us. Yes, I would like to know. Look at that. That logo looks fucking crazy. That looks like they're putting the planet in a prison, which is also an InfoWars thing. Prison Planet. About Us. Global Tetrahedron was born in the shadows and is committed to control in all its forms. Committed to the conquest of mortality since its foundation in 1634. Okay. There you go. So it's a joke. They're being silly. They're silly geese.
Wow.
Yeah. Royston S. Bally with $2 says InfoWars is a load of hooey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. You kiss your mother with that mouth? Jesus. InfoWars is a load of hooey. I don't even like keeping that up on my screen, that kind of language. I can't believe that you would use that kind of language here in front of all these families. XSQ says they're, oh yeah. I said I was going to check this out at some point. They're putting the mRNA COVID vax in your food. You need to do this right now. I'm finally going to check out trackdoc.com. I have to. Like every day someone shows up and puts a trackdoc.com link in the chat. We're going to go finally find out what the fuck trackdoc.com is all about. Triple N says, did you just read spam as a message? Yes, because I'm tired of seeing it every day, and I'm taking a look at trackdoc.com. A lot of people in the chat writing this. $2 from Royston S. Bailey says nobody likes the Onions. I mean, it is a very true statement. All right, trackdoc.com. Let's find out what we're dealing with here. Learn to identify and safely consume nature's bounty for survival. 20 edible plants and roots. This guide is 100% free. I believe that's cot. I believe that's a coca plant. So you can eat all of those. I don't think you can eat the dandelions, though. My cousins told me when I was 5 that if you eat dandelions, you'll die. It was because when I was 5, I told all my older cousins who were like 12 and 13 that I ate a dandelion, and they thought that I was bragging. And so they told me that I was going to die now, because if you eat dandelions, you die. And I just bawled like a baby. I started crying. And I told one of my cousins, I just want to see my mom one more time. And they were laughing their fucking heads off. Oh, boy, did they get in a shitload of trouble for that one. But did I look like a right fag? Here we go, trackdoc.com. Watch this video, and I'll show you the most important foods to have in your pantries when the shit hits the fan. Jeez. I feel really bad that I'm saying goodbye to trackdoc.com. Atomic Ray says, those are begonias, not dandelions. Yeah, you're right. I'm the gay one. I'm the gay one. Well, guys, now we know. Now we know. What happened to Johnny this afternoon? Someone was telling me that somebody came into Johnny's chat today and they were fucking with him. What's the deal? I want to hear the skinny. I want to hear the gossip. We got lots of news stories to get to today. We got lots of videos. We got lots of Trump shit. We got FBI Director Christopher Wray stepping down. That's really exciting. But I don't know. I'm in the gossip mood. We're almost an hour into tonight's show. We're still 150 away from tonight's goal. We had a really low one tonight, too. We had 165. The morning show audience got into it real nice. So go ahead and be really generous, just like last night. Let's have a nice... I liked that last night. When the money's just pouring in and we're going way the fuck over, I definitely prefer that. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Maybe that's something we haven't communicated much in a host/beggar to audience/donor relationship. You guys probably thought that I liked waiting till the last minute and you guys almost giving me a heart attack and going on this big run. I actually prefer it when we have a night like last night where everybody just throws a shitload of money at us and we don't even worry about that part. Oh my God, I feel like maybe you guys didn't know that and I haven't made that clear. That really is my fault. And I apologize. Like, I like 20s, man. I even like 50s. Like 100s, especially on YouTube when that red bar comes up. I think that's great. Those are really fun for me. So I don't know if you knew that or not, but I just really enjoy those. I like them. So I don't know. If you want to click on the Venmo, the PayPal, or the Streamlabs or anything like that, I actually really do enjoy large donations to this program early on in the show. And again, I'm sorry if you didn't know. Some guy came into Johnny's chat and tried to shame Johnny for not voting Democrat because of the Affordable Care Act. Wasn't Johnny shitting all over the Affordable Care Act on the morning show today? Didn't Johnny say that he fucking hated Obama for the Affordable Care Act? And why the fuck would he vote Democrat? Sapphire says, then the guy started to call Johnny horrible names for not agreeing with him. Jesus. So just what? It was just a really big fight? I had Johnny questioning if the moon was flat. I don't think the science checks out on that one. Phil Hurt Slit says, come on, Gino just lost $20 in monthly revenue by losing his YouTube channel. See, now that sounds like you're rubbing it in. That's not very nice. Did Gino do a show today on Rumble? Because he's got to kind of get the word out and pound the pavement on that Rumble channel. Sapphire says the troll finally left and rage quit, and we all made fun of him. Oh, well, good for Johnny. Nice work. Sapphire says Gino had Kumia on. Oh, very nice. Nice. That's a nice get for your Rumble show. Pakistan says, I miss Matt. 2019, Matt was in his prime. Oh, shit. I'm sorry about that, Pakistan. If there's anything we can do for you, you let us know. I like him. Royston S. Bailey says, you're the Bashar al-Assad of the Dabbleverse. I ran to Russia? Or I gassed everyone with chemical weapons? Taste Fairy Ialto says, maybe Gino will get a Rumble deal. Stranger things have happened. 145 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much. Guys, let's throw in some 5s, 10s, and 20s. Let's get this thing hammered out. Fire away. Rust Belt says, I've got 50 for the next time Matt is on. Somebody throws in 50 right now. I'll make goddamn sure that Matt's on by the end of next week. How about that? Somebody throws in 50. I make damn sure Matt's in by the... I'll do anything for $50. Are you kidding me? All right, let's go into the Christopher Wray stuff. It feels like this was the worst kept secret in the entire incoming Trump administration. First off, you had Trump nominating Kash Patel for FBI director, and I don't know if you guys saw today. I don't know what's going to happen with that Kash Patel guy. I don't know if he's going to get the job. I mean, I hate to be a wet blanket here, but John Bolton wrote an op-ed saying that Kash Patel is wrong for the FBI job, and they ought to deny what do you call it? Deny confirmation to Kash Patel as the head of the FBI. And, you know, guys, my general rule of thumb is that if John Bolton says something is a bad idea, I can't wait to embrace it wholeheartedly. So the rumor has been, like, Donald Trump, I kind of thought that Donald Trump nominating Kash Patel meant that Christopher Wray was fucking gone, and everyone kind of would just assume that. But the media now this whole week has been asking Donald Trump, are you going to fire Christopher Wray? Are you going to get rid of Christopher Wray? Like, this is how entrenched the media is into that deep state stuff, that they can't believe that Trump would fire the guy who broke into his house and took a bunch of his shit and put a bunch of ginned up charges on him. They can't believe. And by the way, you know what the media is going to do? They're going to paint this as like one of those confirmation things that they were right. They're going to go, see, Trump is using the Justice Department to settle scores with his enemies. Even though every president has gotten to pick their FBI director, every president has gotten to pick their head of national intelligence. Like, this is something that the president is allowed to do, but the media, because Trump isn't going to try and put Joe Biden in jail or Hillary Clinton in jail or anything like that, they're going to have to find evidence that Trump is trying to put his political opponents in jail. So they'll take firing Christopher Wray as like, oh, can you believe it? He's only firing Christopher Wray because Christopher Wray won't do his bidding. It's like, no, he's only firing Christopher Wray because I believe, and many others believe, Christopher Wray tried to have him murdered, or at the very least didn't do everything the FBI could to stop Donald Trump from being assassinated. The only thing that stopped Donald Trump from being assassinated was a PowerPoint presentation that he had to turn his head for. It certainly wasn't Christopher Wray and the FBI. So, yeah, I too would fire the guy who almost got me killed or almost tried to have me killed. I would also fire the guy who broke into my house and stole a bunch of my shit. That would kind of be an unforgivable offense as well. But here we go. We got Christopher Wray announcing that he is stepping down as FBI director at the end of the Biden administration. I mean, this is kind of a you can't fire me, I quit deal, because it's not like there were going to be two heads of the FBI, Christopher Wray and Kash Patel.
After weeks of careful thought, I've decided the right thing for the Bureau is for me to serve until the end of the current administration in January and then step down.
Wow, so brave. So brave. You know, after weeks of giving it a lot of thought, you know, it's funny, he doesn't mention after weeks of giving it a lot of thought and receiving a giant Donald Trump-sized boot in my ass out the door, I've decided to take a fucking hint and leave when Biden comes in rather than get fired by Trump. Instead, he's going to go, I thought about it for a few weeks, and, it doesn't matter what the next guy's going to do. I just think it's the right thing for the country that I step down. This is kind of like when Joe Biden stepped down as a presidential candidate, and they were like, oh, yeah, he's doing this for the good of the country. He's sacrificing himself. He's a real patriot, this Joe Biden. He's doing it for the goodness of the United States. Like, no. He's doing this because he's getting the living shit kicked out of him, and he's going to lose.
My goal is to keep the focus on our mission, on the indispensable work
of murdering Donald Trump. How much you want to bet they're going to try and start like a shadow FBI with this guy? Like I'm telling you, I think he's going to try and use assets inside the FBI that are still loyal to Christopher Wray to just completely try to gum up the works and fuck things up for Trump. I don't think this guy's just going to walk away. I don't. Because he says, oh, yeah, my goal. Well, my goal is $140. Let's get moving.
each of you is doing every single day. And in my view, this is the best way to avoid dragging the Bureau deeper into the fray while reinforcing the values and principles that are so important in how we do our work.
Right, like secret assassinations, going after political opponents. You know, it's really important that we keep that kind of stuff on an even keel. I really appreciate that.
Now, it should go without saying, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyways.
I tried to murder Donald Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. Hey, come on, you're stepping down. There's got to be some kind of immunity for you. Hey, don't worry. If you step down now and admit it, Joe Biden will pardon you. It's great.
This is not easy for me.
Oh, I'm sure it's
I
not.
love this place.
I bet you do love this place. You got to try and kill people with impunity. It's a lot of power for one man to have.
I love our mission, and I love our people.
Yeah.
But my focus is, and always has been,
on murdering Donald Trump.
Us, and on doing what's right for the FBI.
Wow. And what's right for the FBI is trying to sabotage Donald Trump from the outside. And that's what we will be doing after my resignation. You know, that's what I like about this Cash Patel. This Cash Patel isn't going to be trying to, clandestinely assassinate political leaders and things like that. In fact, one thing I know that Cash Patel will not assassinate is a cow. They're sacred. This is very, very important. Papa Shab says the shadow FBI already exists, Aaron. Shut up, you crazy extremist conspiracy theorist. Just kidding. I just thought it would be funny if I accused that guy of trying to murder Donald Trump and then I call someone else. Okay. Papa Shab says Christopher Wray, more like Christopher Gay.
Do not clip that.
Papa Shab did have the decency to say, okay, I'll see myself out. Triple N says he then squatted and took a shit on the White House lawn. Now that's how you leave. That's how you make an exit, if you ask me. Bigot on Socialist Media says this is good for the United States, regardless of how he's gone. It's worth celebrating this piece of shit leaving his job. Helgi says then he did the splits and threw up both middle fingers. Now, see, again, that's a flashy exit. I can't be mad at the guy for that. Triple N says, where's that shoe-throwing Arab guy when you need him? Hey, can we give that guy credit, though? Let's give the not the shoe-throwing guy credit. I'm sorry. Can we give George W. Bush credit? I mean, he matrix dodged that shoe. I mean, that thing was coming right for him, and he fucking deftly right to the side. Isn't it greasy with $5 says Mersh is a moon. Oh, my goodness. That's racist. With horse strokes. You know, I didn't realize that one of Mersh's strokes was a horse stroke until the Keno Casino pointed it out, and now I can't unsee it at this point. 140 away from tonight's goal. Guys, if you could help us out, that would be great. We're about $25 into tonight's goal. We haven't done that great, but you guys are awesome. This is our last evening goal of the week, so let's end it perfectly. The morning show audience really got about $35-40 in for you. Go ahead and take us the rest of the way and throw us a couple of bucks. Nothing on Streamlabs, PayPal, or Venmo so far tonight. So if you want to be the first one on that, go for it. We appreciate your contributions. It's been relatively quiet tonight, but again, we've got tonight's goal and tomorrow morning's goal, and then we're home free for the week. So thank you guys in advance. If you feel like partaking in a rally, boy, I would really appreciate that. Bad news continues for CNN. CNN's ratings continue to fall, and this is crazy because I didn't think they could. I thought CNN was like at one of those ratings things where like you could only go up like by accident. Because like I thought the only way CNN can fall lower in the ratings is literally if like dentist's office, doctor's offices, like waiting rooms across the country find the remote that they lost 37 years ago and change the channel. And I didn't think anybody was going to bother doing that. Apparently that's happening because CNN, despite the Trump coverage, despite this United Healthcare stuff, all of that, they finished 17th in the primetime cable news ratings behind the Food Network. People would rather watch the Food Network than watch CNN cover the news. CNN's primetime lineup of Anderson Cooper 360. Oh, listen to this lineup. The Source with Caitlin Collins and CNN Newsnight with Abby Phillip. Dude, they used to have like, and I'm not saying this is a killer lineup, but they used to have like Larry King, Wolf Blitzer, Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, Anderson Cooper. I mean, look, again, like back then we said, wow, what a shitty primetime lineup. But compared to Abby Phillip and Caitlin Collins, that's looking like a Fox News lineup at this point. They averaged only 367,000 total viewers in primetime. To compare, Fox averaged 2.5 million primetime viewers during the same period. Didn't we find out this morning that Greg Gutfeld in late night was averaging 2.8 million viewers? Does that mean Greg Gutfeld is doing better than Fox News primetime? Jesus, that guy's killing it. 367,000 people were watching CNN. Dude. It was even worse for CNN's primetime lineup amongst the coveted 25 to 54 demo. Only 67,000 average viewers were watching, finishing 26th in cable. Fox News did over 4 times that amount with 280,000 viewers. Some of the other networks that beat CNN: TNT, Food Network, Freeform, Discovery, INSP, I don't even know what that is, Hallmark Mystery, it is Christmas season, TLC, TBS, History, HGTV, USA, MSNBC, Paramount, Hallmark Channel, again, Christmas, ESPN, and Fox News. You know how they're talking about selling MSNBC? Why not CNN too? Like, just what can it be worth at this point? You have 367,000 people watching your shows. What is Anderson Cooper's salary? Anderson Cooper. Dude's making $20 million a year. And he's drawing 360,000 people a night at a time. Wow, what a great gig. I'm jealous. I'm jealous of Anderson Cooper. I'll lay it right out on the table. Taste Fairy says Greg Gutfeld's show starts at 9 p.m. Central. That's why it's not counted as late night. It's technically still prime time. Oh, okay. Thank you. See, I did not know that. Isn't it Greasy with $2 says, how is it racist? I was talking about animals. Oh, see, I didn't know there was a version of the cricket that was related to the moon. I didn't know that was in the species. Rust Belt with $50 says it better be an in-person Matt for the whole show. Don't you worry, Rust Belt. I'm going to get on the phone with Matt post-haste, and I'm going to make sure that he's here, buddy. Don't you worry. Thank you, Rust Belt, for the $50. That's going to bring us down to see right there. That $50, that put us right there. Thank you very much. $90 away from tonight's goal. Thank you very much, Rust Belt, for the 50. You guys are always there when we need you, aren't you? Always there when we need you. James with oh shit. $5 on Venmo from Anonymous Fake Dono. See, guys, that was an anonymous fake dono that gave us that. $85 away from tonight. There you go, guys. Now we're only in double digits. Every $5 is a little bit closer to knocking out tonight's goal. So what do you say everybody throws in on that PayPal, Streamlabs, and Venmo? We get that knocked out, and we call it a perfect week for the toe on these evening shows. I also have to thank this evening audience because you obliterated that $90 shortcoming from Monday night. Thank you very much for that. This was very sad to read. Americans are driving older cars than ever and no one can afford to maintain them. That makes me, I have a question. Like, does nobody just do brake pads anymore? Because, like, I have to go in for an oil change, and I need brakes. Like, I got a little grind going in my brakes, and at my last oil change, they were at like a 4 and a 2 in the front and back. So it probably is time. But like back in the day when I was a younger man, they would just replace your brake pads and you would continue on. Now they're like, yeah, I think we need full brakes on the front and back. And I'm like, no, I don't think we need full brakes on the front and back. Like, can't we just take care of the brake pads and call it a day? No. We got to do front and back. I don't know about that. So I think I'm going to call another place. I'm going to call my guy, and I'm going to be like, do you think we can just do pads? And because, like, what they want to redo brakes is fucking insane. How much does a 4-wheel brake pad placement cost? There we go. Oh. Well, fuck. Oh, $230 and $600, including parts per labor, with the average cost per axle ranging from $100 to $300, depending on the vehicle. Oh, actually, you know what? That's about what this was. You know what? That's about the same. All right. Fair enough. Fuck my ass. Klopogram says, get All Care Towing to fix the brakes. I don't want to bother them. It's fucking winter in Minnesota, and it's 7 degrees below zero right now. Do you know how fucking busy they probably are? Got trucks going in and out of there all the goddamn time, I'm sure. But people are driving older cars than they ever have before, and they're having a hard time maintaining them. 30 years ago, the average passenger car was about 8.4 years old. So 30 years ago, we're talking 94. So in 94, people were driving 86s. Okay. In 94, people were driving 86s. Today, people are driving 2011s. That's average. Like, the average vehicle is a 2011. So if you're someone who sometimes gets bummed, you're like, I'm driving like a 2012. I'm driving a 12-year-old car, say. You can feel good about that. You're above average. Congratulations. The report offered several reasons for this, including inflation, higher interest rates, and shortages due to supply chain issues. Dude, it is really fucking expensive. Like, and fuck new cars. Like, even used cars, it's out of this world. 2024 Silverado EV Crew Cab Short Box, $93,000. Taxes, license, title, everything out the door, $104,000 for a brand new truck. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Some economists are warning that Trump automotive tariffs will make prices worse, while others are suggesting his economic, regulatory, and energy reforms will bring prices down. I don't know. I wish I don't have an economics degree. I don't know if Trump's tariffs are going to... Here's what I know about Trump's tariffs. If people decide that it's still worth it to make shit overseas and ship it here, then the tariffs are going to increase prices. But if Trump's tariffs inspire people to move their manufacturing back stateside, that could actually help us out economically quite a bit. MSO says, go in for an oil change. What a fag. Do it yourself, Tubby. Now, is that very nice? Is that very nice? Matt says, cars from the 80s and 90s didn't last as long as they do now. A car can easily go for 250,000 miles or more now. Also, real men do their own brakes. And he also says, yes, I'll make a show work. Yes, Matt will be here by the end of the year. I do believe I owe that man some money as well. Do I? Yeah, I think I do. When was his last day? You know, what if I don't, and now I just said that out loud? Like, if you're Matt, you go, yeah, fuck it. You totally do. I got to learn to keep my fucking mouth shut, you know? One of these days, before my 40th birthday, I'm going to learn to keep my mouth shut. So, yeah, people aren't buying new cars. I get that. Interest rates, high prices. I hear the interest is up and the stock market's down. You only get mugged if you go downtown. Speaking of getting mugged, we talked about this yesterday. During the Monday Night Football game, someone broke into Joe Burrow's house and burgled him. The man was burgled while he was out playing football and beating the shit out of the Dallas Cowboys. He finally addressed it today, and in true media fashion, Joe Burrow said, "Hey, yeah, it happened. I'd totally like to not talk about it," and the media proceeded to only want to talk about that thing. We'll play that in just a second. Before we do, $285, Jesus Christ, $85 away from today. Let's get those $1s and $2 and $5 and $10 in there, and let's call it another win for the toe. Let's go ahead and check out Joe Burrow addressing the Cincinnati media regarding his the break-in at his house.
I'll start it out by...
Which, by the way, I will say, like, as a burglar, that is a brilliant move. Like, if you know Joe Burrow's playing Monday Night Football, Monday night's the night to break into his house.
I'll start it out by saying something before any questions today. So, obviously, everybody has heard what has happened. I feel like my privacy has been violated in more ways than one.
But enough about my offensive line. Am I right? Hey, you know, I feel like my privacy has been violated, but then again, you know, I mean, the way our defense has been playing, I don't think we could be violated anymore. But enough about that, guys. How about the game Sunday? What do you think?
And way more is already out there than I would want out there and that I care to share. So that's all I got to say about that.
All right, Forrest.
Out of all of that, without getting into it, is that probably the most frustrating thing? Is that just how much is out there, not even just about the incident, just the amount of just...
I love that. So he goes, yeah, I really don't like the amount of stuff that's out there right now. My privacy has already been violated, and that's all I have to say about that. And the first media guy goes, does that fucking suck, like, really bad? Is that, like, the worst part of this whole thing? Like, your privacy's been violated? Like, you feel like people are prodding you for information and you don't want to give them any more information? Do you feel like that's, like, the shittiest part of this whole deal? What do you think? Sports writers, I think, might be worse than regular media people.
All of that, without getting into it, is that probably the most frustrating thing? Is that just how much is out there, not even just about the incident, just the amount of just information that has now been revealed? Is that probably the most frustrating thing about all that?
It's part of it. It's yeah, this, you know, we live a public life, and, you know, one of my least favorite parts of that is the lack of privacy, and that has been difficult for me to deal with my entire career. Still learning, but I understand it's the life that we choose. Doesn't make it any easier to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks that someone goes. And I think his girlfriend was home at the time, too. And she's the one who called 911. So that's kind of, that's shitty. That does suck for him. But it's kind of a brilliant move on the burglar's part. Like I said, to do it while the guy's playing football on Monday night, what are the odds that you get caught? Let's go to... I'm just skipping through all the obvious Joe Burrow is gay lines. But that's eliminating 80% of the responses to this story, which is Joe Burrow's a homo. J-Fish, Joe Burrow is so gay. Cry bitch. Taste Fairy says, so, like, what kind of stuff did they steal? Anything personal or irreplaceable? I don't know. I didn't really say. 383 Novocaine becoming a member for 30 months says, holy shit, 30 months. Did you see John from Win by 2 called Stories and tried to order food? Also, a homeless encampment burned in the cities. What stories? Oh, Stonies. John from Win by 2 tried to call Stonies. Well, I don't mind if people are going to give publicity to steel toe advertisers. And also, like, doing anything steel toe related is good for your channel. Like, I'm very talk aboutable. So I'm honored too. I mean, I do a good fucking job with this show. I'm a lightning rod for entertainment and controversy. And, you know, I do find it to be an honor that people say, okay, I have a show. I could do my own content and gather an audience, or I could talk about this other guy who does his own content and get a bigger audience. And the fact that revolving your shit around me rather than revolving it around you gets you a bigger audience is only going to make me feel good. So thank you. Adam Simon, becoming a member for 12 months, says, where does the time go? A whole year with the toe. Well, thank you, Adam Simon. It is very nice of you to be a member for that long, and 30 months, 12 months. I mean, holy shit. $85 away from tonight's goal. We got about a half hour until we rattle the cans. Let's knock out that 85 and call it another win for the toe and a perfect week of evening shows. Have you guys seen the Sam Darnold AI shit that they do? Because we have a ginger quarterback who looks like a serial killer, people like to post these Sam Darnold AI press conferences where he basically likes to tell everybody to suck his dick. Like they'll have him, here's Sam Darnold doing a press conference about the Packers, or here's Sam Darnold doing a press conference about Kirk Cousins. And I'm trying to find one of these. I don't know if Twitter or YouTube is the best place to do it. Let's go to Sam Darnold on Kirk Cousins. And I'm sure we'll be able to. Yeah, here we go.
I clapped Kirk Cousins' cheeks today. Ginger Jesus made him squeal like a goddamn pig, as if he was on a canoe trip in that movie Deliverance. Anyways, although it's only been 1 year since Kirk was the starting quarterback in Minnesota, Vikings fans have already forgotten about him. In his 6 years with the team, that talentless bum only won a single playoff game, and that's probably why this franchise threw him in the trash. So when Kirk made it a 1-point game with 5 minutes left in the third quarter, it pissed me off, and I wanted to teach him a lesson. So I turned around and threw a goddamn 50-yard piss missile to Justin Jefferson. And although Kirk might have put up another touchdown, I threw down the fucking gauntlet and buried him with 3 straight tutties in the fourth quarter. My Vikings stomped those shitty little dirty birds. We moved to 11-2. And I can't wait to curb stomp that nail polish wearing sissy Caleb Williams next week. I'll see you guys then.
Football fans are the best. They just like doing shit like that. Imagine just having the time. You know what I want to do? I want to give our crazy fucking ginger-looking quarterback like an AI YouTube account where he just shit talks people all the time. It's cute. Humanity gets amazing technological gifts on a regular basis. And we just, like, the technology develops faster than our brains do. It's like they're giving nuclear weapons to chimpanzees. So, like, they're like, hey, here's this amazing AI technology. You can use it to do absolutely anything. And they're like, make our quarterback say fuck. It's like, no, literally, it could do anything. It could, like, bring Napoleon back to life and, like, have him voice one of his speeches. It's like, oh, go. Can you make this guy say the N-word? Like, I mean, yeah, or you could hear Jesus give a sermon that's in the Bible. Yeah, we could do that. But, like, could Jesus call that guy a fag? Like, that would be so funny. Like, because it's Jesus, right? It's like, I kind of wish it was aliens that gave us this technology so we could see the looks of disappointment on their faces. But by the way, this is why they won't give us shit. This is why ancient aliens, like those guys, are all full of shit. Because they're like, oh, yeah, aliens gave us all this technology and all this stuff. And it's like, no, they wouldn't. Because the minute they gave it to us and some guy immediately tried to, like, Like if in the 1800s aliens came by and said, here's a camera, and a guy takes a picture of his dick first, aliens would be like, give it back. You're not going to use it, right? Just fucking wait till you guys develop it on your own. Yeah, Sam, right, exactly. Sam Show, yeah, aliens give us something cool. We're like, can you fuck it? The aliens are like, what? No, it's fucking gay. Give me it back. No, because you guys are just, first thing you're going to do is try to stick your dick in it. We're not doing this. Aces says, I think I like base Darnold better. I don't know. Like, I kind of thought that the AI Sam Darnolds were kind of corny at first, but they're growing on me. If we go AI Sam Darnold on YouTube, this would be I won Lambeau Field. Jared Goff on Jared Goff. Post game for the Jets game. Here's him talking about the win.
Can you actually imagine being a Chicago Bears fan? Just try to visualize it for a second. You live in a dump of a city. Your football team is the biggest goddamn poverty franchise in the entire NFL, and you've only seen one winning season in the past decade. But for some inexplicable reason, you just keep showing up to Soldier Field on Sundays as if you have nothing better to do with your life other than watch the Bears lose. Anyways, when my Vikings showed up in Chicago today and we saw that nail polish wearing sissy Caleb Williams and his boyfriend Keenan Allen lined up against us, we knew immediately that we'd walk away with the victory. I don't care that Caleb led an 11-point comeback in the last 20 seconds. It was an act of futility. Because in overtime, Ginger Jesus set up the Vikings game-winning field goal. We're 9-2 and headed to the playoffs. Meanwhile, the sorry-ass Chicago Bears just fired their offensive coordinator and are heading down the toilet as usual. Anyways, I'm glad to get out of this shithole city with the win. I'll see you guys in Minneapolis next Sunday.
Yeah. How close is that to his actual voice? If we go Sam Darnold press conference, how close is AI to Sam Darnold?
So guys, obviously complete team effort out there today.
That's right fucking, that's spot fucking on.
With the way that, things were going in the first half, kind of, back and forth a little bit there. And then just the way that we were able to kind of pull away in that second half.
That sounds exactly like AI Sam Darnold. I think all the press conferences should be done by AI Sam Darnold. He's way better. Thank you to Connor for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. Thank you, buddy. Brett Mack says Chicago is pretty cool aside from the surplus of brownie. Well, I've been to Chicago. I liked it. I've been to Chicago a couple of times. I can't say that it was bad. I enjoyed my time there. Mikey Two Milk says RIP 84. Yeah, Randy Moss is not dying. Who was it? Larry Fitzgerald Sr. came out and said, oh yeah, Randy Moss has liver cancer. And Randy Moss's son came out and he went, no, fuck that. My dad doesn't have liver cancer. Who the fuck told you that? Randy Moss cancer. Randy Moss doesn't have liver cancer, according to his son. After Randy Moss announced an ongoing health battle last week, his son is dispelling reports that he has liver cancer. On Tuesday, Larry Fitzgerald Sr., the father of former NFL player Larry Fitzgerald Jr., no way, you got to be shitting me, same guy, said on social media that Moss has liver cancer. Now, okay, even if that's true, like even if he did have liver cancer, who the fuck is Larry Fitzgerald Sr. to just blurt that out? Like, don't you think that's something that Randy Moss and his family want to go public with when it's time? Like, you took it upon yourself to just be break the bad news to the world guy? And then outside of that, it might not even be true, which actually to me is better news. Still an asshole move. Thaddeus Moss, Randy's kid, says it's not true. Now, Thaddeus, the son of former NFL player Randy Moss, said Tuesday that his father doesn't have liver cancer. He has Larry Fitzgerald Sr. cancer. That prompted former Green Bay Packers quarterback Brett Favre to ask for prayers, so on and so forth. Thaddeus Moss also responded to Fitzgerald's post, calling it disgusting. You have no right to try to make private matters public for the sake of engagement. Adding that he does not believe his father talks to Fitzgerald. Moss has kept the details of his health battle private so far. He said on ESPN's Sunday NFL Countdown last week that he is battling something internally. I put a post up maybe a few minutes ago on Instagram just telling people you were talking about my eyes last week. Yeah, I noticed that too. I was watching the pregame show and Randy Moss had sunglasses on in the studio. And I just want to let the viewers know that me and my wife, me and my family, we are battling something internally. I have some great doctors around me. He said, go get your checkups. Also said he would be wearing sunglasses during his on-air appearances going forward. Glaucoma? Some kind of degenerative eye condition? Something like that? I don't think you would have to wear sunglasses inside because of liver cancer. I don't think that would be the case. Jay Fish says he got mossed. Jesus Christ. Mikey Two Milk says, someday, you watch, he'll die someday. I'm never wrong about this. That's true. I can confirm Mikey Two Milks is batting 1,000 when it comes to predicting that people will die someday. Mr. Beat says he's got severe CTE. Oh, that could be it too. Could be CTE. If you got to wear the sunglasses inside, that's possible. Miss Tay with $2 says, Chad said you can have the hype train back. Did he really?
Wow.
Oh, thank you, Chad. We'll have to exercise that at some point. I can't believe it. I do feel bad. Chad Zumach had a members-only show that he put up. I'll tune in every once in a while and I'll watch Chad talk shit about people. But I did fall asleep during this one. Wasn't not Chad's fault. I'm not saying that Chad was boring or that he wasn't talking enough shit about people, but it did put me to sleep. I think it was because, I had the court thing today and I was like all raring to go. I was like, here we go. We're going to start, really getting into it. And they're like, yeah, because retarded people keep doing retarded shit. Our investigative report isn't out yet, so we need another 60 days. All right. So I think I built myself up for something today. And like by the time I was on the air this morning and I told you guys, I'm like, there's not much is going to happen today. I kind of knew. And so I think I had that, like I was all jacked. And then I was like, that just kind of, I fell asleep listening to Chad Zumach. Turd Burglar says he has herpes in the eye. I don't think eye herpes is the announcement that he was making. Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, pray for Randy Moss. Yeah, I'm obviously a Vikings fan. I love Randy Moss. I hope he's all right. That brings us to $80 away from tonight's goal, and we got 20 minutes until we rattle the cans and see if we can knock out that last $80. Call it another win for the toe. Which Nico says, renewing their baby boot membership and says, another win for the toe. Thank you very much. Guys, why don't you all team up and at the very least get us under $50 here in the next 20 minutes. And we'll get ourselves a full week of evening show victories with just one more goal left to go in the morning. As you can see, we got All's Fair in Love and War in first place in the Chad Buzamach donor ratings with $340. Silver Wolf in second with 182. Flinty Gecko in third with 125. And Doorman tied with Chris O. And almost Trucker 18 Wheeler is at 92, so he's pretty close too with $100. And Rust Belt climbing up the rankings with $50 as well. You got a few people who are around the 40, 50, 60, and 70 spot in this week's rankings. So thank you guys very much for throwing that at us. Hey, Mikey, becoming a member for 10 months, says, do you need my dollar tonight? Hey, Mikey, we always appreciate your dollar every single night. Are you kidding me? Thank you, buddy. If you ever want to, throw a couple zeros behind it and turn it red, we love seeing those. Did you guys see speaking of sports, did you see the Caitlin Clark thing today? This was kind of a bummer. Caitlin Clark apologized for her white privilege today. Yeah, it's don't worry. I'm sure she'll get a lot more endorsements. I'm sure the league will embrace her more. I'm sure players will talk to her way nicer. And if she ever wants to run for a Democratic office someday, the door will be wide open for her. We'll get to the details of that in just a second. First, thank you, Hey Mikey, with the $1. We appreciate that. Everybody follow Hey Mikey and throw a few bucks in. Streamlabs, PayPal, and Venmo are always welcome. Super chats, Rumble rants, and especially gifted memberships are very cool. Time made Caitlin Clark their Athlete of the Year. And in what I 100% believe was a deal with the devil, Caitlin Clark, in her interview for Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year, apologized for her white privilege. I'm not saying that she wouldn't have won Athlete of the Year without it, but I think they were absolutely tickled because a lot of people see Caitlin Clark as like this, and I don't think this is fair to her, by the way, but I think a lot of people associate her with like Republican or leaning right because everything has to be political now. So they see her as like right-leaning, conservative, Republican because she's a white female basketball player who got really popular. I don't think it's fair to her. But that's kind of the vibe people have put out there. So now she comes out, she wins this Time Athlete of the Year thing, and she goes, oh, I'm just a privileged white person, and by golly, I'm really sorry. I never understood that part of it either. Like, recognizing that you're white, and maybe you get certain considerations because you're white, and, like, acknowledging that, that's fine. But I think it's bullshit to apologize for it, because, A, you didn't do anything. Like, it's not something you did. You didn't upset anyone. You didn't take away anything from anyone else. You're white. I mean, it's not something you did. You don't need to apologize for it, And in some ways, it kind of seems condescending. And it also seems really kiss-ass, and I'm not sure anybody even really means it when they say they're sorry for, being white. And also, again, it's kind of gross because you never see anyone apologizing for being Asian or Latino. Like, you never see someone with a 4.0 at Yale go, I'm really sorry for being Asian. Like, no. I'm sorry that I kicked all of your asses in academics. That's about what they say. After being named Time's Athlete of the Year, Caitlin Clark apologized for her white privilege and says that the WNBA is built on black players. I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. I'm sorry, but I think in basketball, I think you have to work harder as a white person to get respect. Even amongst white people, I think white people see a really good white basketball player and they go, yeah, but, are they really as good? Like, people see Jokic in Denver, and they go, yeah, but he's just kind of a big, retarded European guy, he ain't flashy like Zion Williamson, or, he ain't knocking down threes like Steph Curry, He's just a big, hard-charging white boy. I feel like if you're white in basketball, you got to work a little harder to be taken seriously, but she's got asses to kiss because she doesn't want to be seen as a Republican basketball player. Never bothered Charles Barkley to be seen as a Republican, or Michael Jordan. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. See, that's what I hate about her interview is that she's sitting there going, oh, it's black, it's white, it's black and white. Whereas sports has always been kind of this, it's been a meritocracy. That's the cool thing about sports. It's not about being black. It's not about being white or Asian, Jeremy Lin. It's about, have you been putting up the points? Have you been earning your salary? Have you been winning for the franchise? Like Juan Soto just made what? God damn it, what did Juan Soto end up making? $70 million a year, something crazy. $50 million a year, $60 million a year, something crazy like that. Juan Soto just made a shitload of money. It wasn't Latino privilege or whatever the fuck he is. It was the fact that he kicks ass and the Mets desperately want to surpass the Yankees one day. And they needed a franchise player, and he's it. And they've got the money, and they're throwing it at him. Doesn't have, Caitlin Clark didn't get what she got because she's white. Maybe more people relate to her because she's white, so more white people watch her, but that's certainly not because of her privilege. That's because of other people. You can't control that. So I don't know. I just, anytime people grovel at the court of public opinion over race and shit, it's just kind of fucking annoying. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. I have to continue to try to change that. Okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that all just kind of seem a little condescending to other black players? Like, isn't she doing a little bit of a white Jesus thing? She's like, yeah, I got to use my privilege as a white lady to, make more opportunity for these poor black players. I don't know. I kind of see it. I can see that as kind of shitty in a way. Real quick, before we go into the chat and get your guys' thoughts on this, Red Fox Mad with $4.99 says, Aaron Hernandez is my favorite tight end. You would have been his favorite tight end. He was awesome. I have his Patriots jersey. It's a collector's item, Sanford's son with a purple one, a pink one, I should say. Just like my dog, he's got a pink one. 60 days, $60. Thank you, Sanford's son. 8571 over on YouTube. Thank you very much. That puts us $20 away from tonight's goal. Thank you so much, Sanford's son. That is so nice of you. $20 away from knocking it out. Why doesn't somebody just throw that last 20 up there? And we'll call it the final win for the toe for the evening show. Thank you so much, Sanford's son. Let's give him the $50 drop.
We want the gold, sucker. Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, nigga.
Thank you, Sanford's son. All right, let's put I think that's Sanford's son getting on the board for the first time this week. And he's damn near cracked the top 5. Sanford's son with 8571. That puts him just $15 behind Doorman for 4th place. Thank you, guys. It's very nice. Very nice. Let's WNBA needle mover. Who cares about women's basketball? Like, Jesus, man. Jesus. Some people saying, what about 1 hour of overtime tonight? I gave it all to the morning show. I'm sorry. I did. I told you there were going to be 3 ways we meant to go with the overage. We were either going to throw it all to the morning show and just make it a nice, easy morning. And then the morning show responded by giving you a smaller goal today. So I thought that was a nice give and take. And they gave you a smaller evening show goal on Tuesday as well. So I thought that was nice of them. I threw them a little courtesy. And so I did end up going with option number 2 of the 3. And I gave it to the morning guys. It was either give it to the morning guys, it was give it to you guys tonight, or give it to Monday evening. And I decided to give it to this morning. I'm sorry if that upsets anyone. I'm sorry. I will give myself a flogging. I will have SP, put me up on the cross and flog me ritualistically. I'm sorry. Vadam with $5 says, Aaron, would you fuck Caitlin Clark? She's hot. I would. Would I fuck Caitlin Clark? Single, no commitments. Caitlin, yeah, I would. She's not like, oh my God, she's the hottest fucking one, but she's not ugly. So yeah, I'd fuck Caitlin Clark. I think everybody in this room, everybody watching this show right now would probably fuck Caitlin Clark. All 400 of them or so. Thank you guys, by the way, for being here. Hit like, hit subscribe. We appreciate it. $15 away from tonight's goal. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and throw in and knock all that out. We don't have to do the 5-minute can rattle segment tonight. Thank you for that. We're just looking to make the last 15 and call it another win for the toe. All right, Caitlin Clark. Megyn Kelly was pissed. Oh, boy. She pissed off Megyn Kelly now. Megyn Kelly doesn't go for this white privilege shit. Isn't Megyn Kelly the one who declared Black Lives Matter dead yesterday? I mean, that seems a little extreme. I don't. That sounds like wishful white lady thinking to me. I don't think Black Lives Matter is going anywhere. Megyn Kelly wrote, "Look at this. She's on the knee, all but apologizing for being white and getting attention. The self-flagellation, the, oh, please pay attention to the black players who are really the ones you want to celebrate. Condescending, fake, transparent, sad." Actually, you know what? I agree with Megyn Kelly on all those points she made. Especially the condescending part. It's really condescending to the black players. Basically saying, I'm white Jesus. I'm really sorry, black players, that I'm getting this attention. It should all be on you, but tee-hee-hee, it's on me. It's actually kind of that pretty girl attitude. Like, what? Me? Like, kind of it's a very pick-me-girl thing to say. That fake humility. Kind of fucking gross. Mr. Beat says, burn a cross in your front yard and we'll forgive you. No! Not going to. That's going to send the wrong message. You know, I've got people in my neighborhood who still have their Democratic political yard signs up. Christ. I did think that was a bit rich, by the way. I have people in my neighborhood. I was driving yesterday, and I look, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, you guys, like, it's over. And it's not like Kamala Harris. It's like local state representative and school board people. They've still got the signs out there. And I'm like, I think we can. I mean, really, who's that passionate about your state representative and your school board person? I mean, unless it's them, in which case, you know, I guess be proud. Mr. Beat says, I wouldn't fuck Caitlin Clark. She makes whites look like cucks. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan says, look up Lexi Hall. She's actually hot. Is she Brett's kid? Lexi Hall, American basketball player. Does she play for Indiana too? Is she a teammate of Caitlin Clark's? I don't know. I don't usually find basketball players attractive. They've just got a weird, like, long look about them. Not like because they're tall or anything. I just mean like a lot of it's like skinny with no tits. It's just kind of a, you need to have tits. Basketball players, not the tittiest people you've ever seen. And for good reason. I mean, she's all right. I don't really see her as, like, super hot. She's all right for a basketball player. Numero uno, Josh Denny fan. I'm not trying to shit on her. I'm not trying to shit on your pick either. Sam Show says, like your ex-wife, LOL. Look, I mean, my second wife did not have the biggest tits in the world. That's true, but what the fuck do I care? Make fun of her. I don't give a shit. $15. I was gonna try and high road that, but you know what? I'm not gonna stop you guys from having your fun. She hasn't exactly been the most high road I mean, you act like a disgusting skank on Twitter. I'm not exactly gonna, run PR for you. $15 away from tonight's goal. Go ahead. 3 of you throw in $5 and let's call this thing over with. And another win for the toe. Thank you very much. Justin Trudeau is, speaking of white women who are, apologizing for their whiteness all the time. Did you see that Trump keeps referring to Canada as the 51st state? I kind of like it. He referenced Justin Trudeau as Governor Trudeau today. I loved it. Because Trudeau was talking a little bit of shit and Donald Trump's had it. He doesn't want this little fucking, Fidel Castro bastard talking shit about him. So he's referring to Canada as the 51st state and calling him Governor Trudeau. Isn't the King of England still the head of state in Canada? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think King Charles is the head of state. I know Justin Trudeau's the head of government. But I think King Charles is the head of state over there, you fucking royal cucks.
No, it shouldn't be that way. It wasn't supposed to be that way. We were supposed to be on a steady, if difficult sometimes, march towards progress. And yet, just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president.
How is that progress? How is her just having a pussy progress? You know what? That's why this country's in the fucking shape it's in, because we measure progress as, are they black? Do they have a cunt? Are they Mexican? Are they white? Do they have a dick? Do they have a dick, but they identify as a cunt? Like, are they black? Are they half black? That's not fucking you know what progress is? Inflation going down. You know what progress is? Wages going up. Progress is people being able to afford houses and cars. You know, it's working class people having retirement accounts that keep up with the rate of inflation. That's what progress is. I don't give a fuck what color it is. I don't care if a Martian came down and he was fucking magenta, as long as the economy was all right and we had a constitution that anybody gave a fuck about. That's progress, you fucking lily-livered yellow streak on his back having cunt. God, I fucking hate this pussy. He really is just RoboCuck 3000. Like, anything somebody can say that's like a progressive pull string doll, it's Justin Trudeau. In fact, has anybody ever seen this guy turn around? Does he have a pull string in the back?
Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack.
How? They have to drive a little further to kill a baby. Wow. I have to drive an extra hour and a half to murder my child. Wow. I changed my mind about the child.
Do not clip that.
Yeah. The umbilical cord, that is.
Progress is under attack, overtly and subtly.
Yeah,
but
subtly.
I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist.
Wow. Oh, you know what?
Wow.
That's amazing. Are you really? You are and always will be. You're such a good ally, Governor Trudeau. You're so amazing. Why don't you step down and appoint a woman as your successor? That'd be progressive as fuck, wouldn't it? If Trudeau stepped down and replaced himself with a woman, that would be huge. That's an ally move. Oh, but it's okay. It's different when it's him. Okay. God, he's the worst. But Canada can't do any better than that because that's how Canada is. Frostalicious says that's why his wife divorced him. I missed that. Did that really happen? I haven't been paying attention to Justin Trudeau. Did the wife really divorce Trudeau? Right now, Turd Burglar says that this drop is more appropriate.
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking faggot.
I didn't. Can we slow down the Brennan drop? Oh, shit. I don't know if we can. Set from file. Nope. I can rename it. But I can't slow it down. Shit. I can fuck around with it in another program and then re-upload it. That would be fine. But I really like to slow down I'd like to stretch it out a little more.
Wow.
Yeah, why doesn't he? Yeah, Aces says this guy definitely likes to get pegged every night. Oh, he probably thanks a woman for doing it, too. It's just so powerful of you to use that strap-on dildo to fuck me in the asshole. It's just, I've never seen such progress from a woman. Don't worry if I bleed a little. Men have been making women bleed for a long time. It's understandable that we would bleed a little bit too. And in fact, if my blood can work to repair the damage that's been done by the patriarchy, I'm more than willing to, and if you shove that strap on in a little further, it tickles my prostate and I shoot jizz all over the place. But if you feel that me jizzing somehow reinforces the patriarchy when I'm being pegged from behind, then I would encourage you to not do that, because as a feminist, I believe that my cum should only be spilled if you believe that that's all right. Fucking Trudeau. Midland Armory says if he appointed a woman, Canada would have more of a man in charge. That's for sure. Oh, by the way, that last thing I just said.
Do not clip that.
Thank you. I would appreciate it if you guys would just kind of leave that one alone, if you could. We've got 30 minutes of overtime coming for you guys. Thank you very much for your support tonight. We do have $15 left, though. So do me a favor. Everybody throw in $5. Let's knock this thing out. Let's call it a perfect week of evening shows for the toe. I do appreciate it. Just looking at my text. It looks like we are going to have Matt on for an evening show here at some point in the future. I'm very excited about that. Very excited. Oh, did Chad Zumach go live again? I was just looking at one of our Twitter stories that we've got. It looks like Chad's live again. I think he's had a good year, that Chad Zumach. $5 from Donaldus Trumpus Magnus says, wish Trump would give him a nickname. He did. Trump gave Trudeau a nickname. It was Governor Trudeau. I think that counts, doesn't it? Because he says Trump's been saying he should consider making Canada the 51st state. So he wants to call him Governor Trudeau. It's a more subtle nickname than Trump's used to giving, but it's still a nickname. They can't all be Lion Hillary or Doddering Joe or whatever the fuck it is. Thank you very much for the $5, Donaldus Trumpus Magnus. I think I can guess who you voted for. $10 away from tonight's goal. Everybody follow along with Donaldus Trumpus Magnus and throw in those $5. And let's call it another win for the toe. Thank you very, very much, as we're now tantalizingly close to the end of the line tonight. Rust Belt says, is there a Midland Armory promo code yet? Rust Belt's probably on midlandarmory.com right now looking to make an order. I know I'm going to see Derek and Tracy tomorrow. We'll talk about it. I know that they did a lot of stuff with their website recently, so I don't want to bother them and, put more on them until they're ready. But I'm sure eventually there will be a sweet steel toe promo code. Let's everybody throw in just a little bit, and we'll call it another win for the toe. $10 away from a perfect week of evening shows. All right, we got a Piers Morgan clip here. Piers has fucking had it with the people who are liking this, what do you call him, the United Healthcare CEO assassin, the alleged assassin or whatever. It's kind of a weird thing because, on one hand, Piers hates it when people talk nice about the killer or, call him a hero. He yelled at Taylor Lorenz about that. But then he keeps booking people who say it. So it's kind of performative on Piers' part. I like Piers Morgan. I do. I think he does a good job. But he kind of, does shit to purposely piss him off so that he can confront people and, have the conflict. He knows what sells. But there's something about starting a fight just so you can have it and then getting mad on your own show that is a little mentally ill to me. Real quick, before we go into this clip, fuck you, dude, with $20 says you're a queeb or something. I don't know. Your heart wasn't in it, but I appreciate it. $20 coming in from fuck you, dude. Let's give him the $20 drop.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, brother, then you grab a hold of me and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be.
There you go. Thank you, fuck you, dude. And that officially means it's another win for the toe. As I always say, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you. All right, let's watch Piers Morgan get pissed off at his guests for talking nice about Luigi. My son Luigi, he's a good boy. He never hurt anybody.
You have to get to the root of why there is this.
Luigi Mangione said this. Luigi Mangione said that. I don't know anything about no Godfather.
Deep well of tragedy, despair, and outrage in the United States of America. And that has to do with what Brian Thompson has chosen to do with his life, and what companies like United Healthcare have chosen to do to the American people.
But just to be clear, before I go to Natalie to respond to that, Do you feel any empathy for Brian Thompson and his family?
I have infinite empathy for any individual as a person in their personal capacity. As his role as the CEO of United Healthcare, I'm afraid I'm with the overwhelming majority, bipartisan majority of the American people who say, I'm saving my empathy for people who are much more vulnerable, much more.
Wow. Oh, my God. Like, that is not a hard question to answer. Do you have any empathy for Brian Thompson and his family? Yes. Yes, I do. It's very sad that he was murdered. Because like I said, Brian Thompson presided over an evil institution that really fucks people over and hurts people, and they deny coverage to their own customers that they could cover. Like, that's the worst part. They deny coverage to people and almost de facto sentence them to death when they could afford to cover them. And it's not like they're a bunch of freeloaders who ain't paying. We're talking about their own customers who pay their premiums, pay their copays, pay their deductibles, and they just flat out tell them we're not going to cover any of this. That's a shitty move. But that doesn't mean that I don't have empathy for him when he's gunned down in the street. I mean, first of all, it's kind of like the idea, it's kind of like in the Green Mile where after they execute the guy and they go, hey, you know, he's paid his debt, he's square with the house again. It's kind of how I feel about Brian Thompson. It's like, do I know why he was killed? Yeah. Do I understand how his role as CEO of United Healthcare led to this guy being so pissed that he murdered this guy in the street? Yeah, I get it. I understand the frustration. But, like, he's dead now. He's, you know, if his sins ever led up to some kind of karma that caused this, like, he's paid it and then some. So this idea that I still have to hate this guy or I have to be like, I don't feel any empathy for this dude, I don't know about that. I feel that's an easy question for me to answer. I feel empathy towards Brian Thompson and his family. That's a weird fucking answer to be like, don't tell me that you like value life, you know, or like, you know, I respect the human rights of all people and then go, yeah, but fuck Brian. I don't feel any empathy towards that guy. It's like, dude, he's fucking dead already.
Vulnerable.
It's okay to not feel any empathy towards Brian Thompson while he's alive. Like, if Brian Thompson got punched in the face of New York City and you're like, fuck him, I don't feel bad for him, that's fine. But it's like, once the guy's gunned down in the street, it's like, okay, you know, he is dead. You know, it's kind of like that don't speak ill of the dead thing. It's like, all right, like, whatever bad energy he put out there, I believe that this would more than pay for it.
And have caused a lot.
Right,
less
so to be
harm in
clear,
the world.
you don't have any empathy for him after he was executed?
I personally don't.
Right, okay, well, at least you're honest. Let me go to...
You know what? I did not expect that. I expected Piers to kind of go after her a little bit. That's actually a little weird. That was a little strange to me. I was expecting, you know what? There's something for just being honest. It'll kind of avoid you the big gotcha questions from Piers Morgan. He's like, you don't feel any empathy for him? Nah, fuck him. Oh, all right. Well, at least you're honest. Like, I'm sure even she was like kind of gearing up and like, all right, I'm ready to fight off Piers. And Piers is like, all right, well, fuck it. At least you're honest.
I personally don't.
To be clear, you don't have any empathy for him after he was executed?
I personally don't.
Right, okay, well, at least you're honest. Let me...
Look at this guy right here. He's like, what? What the fuck?
Go to Natalie Winters. I mean, I find this staggering. You've got to remember, the left is supposed to be the party that cares so much. All of them have their Be Kind hashtags. They're the caring ones, the kind ones, and they can't even bring it in their hearts to say they find a shred of empathy for a man who's just been executed, who's the father of children, the husband of a loving wife, and so on. I find that just staggering, that you can't, on a human level, have empathy for the murder of someone, but also make your point about the system in which he was an executive. What's your response?
I mean, it's absolutely shocking. And look, what it gets to the core of is the continued dehumanization of people, because in the sort of culturally Marxist paradigm of oppressor versus oppressed, you're allowed to do whatever you want to someone who has allegedly, or in this case, I'm not a supporter of the United States healthcare system or apparatus. Believe me, there's so many problems that need to be fixed and adjusted there.
Wow. You know what? Let me give her a Kevin Brennan.
Wow.
I 100% agree with her. Like that. that's kind of a little bit closer to my take, because I thought about that too. I'm like, there's a lot of I'm getting a lot of Marxist vibes from from this side. Like, I'm getting a lot of well, the bourgeois is being punished, and the decay of society is necessary so we can build a more just system in his place. Like, that's why I'm kind of a little trying to distance myself from celebrating this guy's murder, is because it feels a little Karl Marxian to me, and I don't want to be caught in that loop.
But condoning, which is in effect what these two panelists are doing, the assassination of him by a roundabout way, by saying, well, the healthcare system is, you just told me that.
Wait a minute. Saying you don't have empathy to someone being murdered is not that far from saying you condone their murder. That's how is that far away? Like, that's not that much of a misrepresentation. Do you feel bad for this guy being murdered? No, I don't. Fuck him. Well, then you do kind of condone it a little bit on some level.
You had absolutely no empathy, and that you think what people are doing by gunning down healthcare executives because of bad decisions.
And
by the way,
I do not condone vigilante violence in either instance. So don't misrepresent my view. If you can make your case without telling a lie, miss, then you should do it. I have empathy for the 68 million Americans and their families who are killed.
Here's what I kind of hate about this woman on the right. She wants to look like a badass, radical, by saying, I have no empathy for this guy being killed. But then the minute someone goes, oh, so you condone this shit on some level, don't make shit up about me, and they want to have this righteous indignation about it. It's well, then say, oh, I do have some empathy for him. I don't think it's right to do. Because if you say I don't condone this vigilante violence, then you feel bad that guy got murdered because you think what happened to him is wrong, because you don't condone the vigilante violence. So then you do feel empathy for that guy because you feel that he was killed in a way that you don't agree with. But if you're saying you don't feel any empathy or you don't feel bad for that guy at all, in a way, that's saying you condone what happened to him. So I'm not saying that this woman's totally representing you correctly. I'm saying that the conclusion she's drawing from the things you're saying is not that far off. She's not lying about you, and she's not being unfair.
Every single year,
don't talk over each other. We can't hear you.
United Healthcare System with
don't talk over each other. We can't hear you. Okay, look, listen, Brianna, I'll let you speak, Brianna.
If you think Luigi...
Let Natalie have her say. And then
Luigi! I think it was actually Wario, and he's framing Luigi.
By the way, if you think Luigi Mangione is someone who you maybe have empathy or sympathy for, this is someone who had a very privileged upbringing, background, very wealthy family. The CEO of United Healthcare is someone who came from a working...
His mama only bought the most expensive marinara sauce and the spaghetti sauce.
Class family, went to state schools, didn't go to the University of Pennsylvania. Like I said, I'm not defending the healthcare system writ large, but to say that you don't have empathy because you view him as an oppressor of the American people is a perversion, not just of the system of law and justice in this country, but that's extreme. You just said you don't have empathy for a man who was murdered in cold blood on the streets of New York.
It's fair. When these broads fight each other, it should give you a little bit of a boner. Sneed Dave Williams with $20. Wow, thank you. Oh, sorry, I should say.
Wow.
There you go. It says another win for the toe.
And if you don't think I'm big enough, brother, then you grab a hold of me, and you'll know that I'm growing, my man. Within your hands, I will get as big as I need to be.
Miss Tay with $10 says, R.I.P. Gino's YouTube channel, play the KB drop.
I'll fucking kill you, you fucking faggot.
Thank you guys very much. We are now $25 into tomorrow's goal. So, I love this. I love the morning show and the evening show working together. You guys are great. We didn't have the 5-minute beg session tonight. You guys are getting the morning show into it a little bit. The morning show got you into it today. I like this. I like this friendship that we have. Vidam with another $5 says, what does Trump have to do to make Canada part of the United States? I hope Trump does make Canada the 51st state. Will it make, does maple syrup get cheaper in this instance? Because if so, maybe we have a holla at your boy. kind of a situation. The Das Optic Nerve says that last segment sounded just like the wet spot. Leah says United Healthcare has gotten so terrible. We used to have it through my husband's old job. But come on, a guy is dead. How do you not feel bad for him and his family? Murder doesn't solve anything. Right. In fact, the next guy they get in there is going to make the same decisions this Brian Thompson would have. Not only that, now these insurance companies are going to spend more money on security for their CEOs, which, who knows, could lead to higher premiums. This Luigi guy, and not only that, it's going to fuck up gun control stuff too. Because now everybody who, everybody who wants to make all this kind of shit about guns is going to talk about gun control laws and how we need to do more shit on gun control. So I certainly don't think this Luigi guy did anybody any favors. Taste Fairy Ialto says, no, I don't want, because it would just be more Democratic senators and representatives. Canada? Oh, yeah, Canada would be, that's 80 million people. If Canada was a state, it would probably get 60 electoral votes. I mean, it wouldn't have been enough to give Kamala Harris the victory, but definitely would have made it a lot closer. That's something to think about. Unless you broke Canada up into different states, that would, your country would definitely go way further to the left if you brought Canada in. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think so. We have a lot of stuff yet to get to, and then tomorrow's show is looking fucking ridiculous too. I'm really excited about it. I hope you guys join us for that. It's going to be, of course, our last YouTube show of the week, and then Friday, we got our Rumble Friday show. I'm excited. Leah says, didn't he use a 3D printed gun? All I've heard so far is he used a ghost gun. Whatever that would be. I don't know. I thought ghost gun was when you bought it from like a gun show or something without a background check. Again, could be wrong. I need to brush up on my gun shit. But I don't think ghost gun necessarily means 3D printed. Could be wrong. Leah says, Canada isn't as liberal as y'all think. My husband's best friend lives there, and he is super conservative. Well, I mean, in fairness, that's one guy. But I'm sure like Newfoundland, I'm sure there's a lot of like hunting and fishing areas where people are a little more conservative. Like I said, if you broke Canada up into like 5 or 6 different states, it might not get that much more lefty. But if you make it all one, yeah, it's going to get pretty far to the left. Congratulations to Meet the Press. They're showing that having Trump on the old TV is still great for ratings. Meet the Press grabbed its biggest ratings in more than a year with their Kristen Welker Donald Trump interview. You know, the interview where Kristen Welker kept asking these gotcha questions of Donald Trump, like, you going to fire the FBI director? He's like, the fuck do you think? I want Cash Patel to run the thing, and this other guy broke into my fucking house. Of course I'm going to try. Of course I'm going to fire the FBI director. Or like, there was also, the fact that, if you really wanted Trump to say something base, he could have said, yeah, the current FBI director tried to murder me. Of course I'm going to fire him. I'm a little upset about that. And then there was, are you going to pardon the January 6th people? And he's like, yes, of course. These people have suffered enough. It's like they get surprised. Like they think they're asking Trump a gotcha question. Do you not understand that the current president just pardoned his crackhead son? And pardoned him for crimes he was accused of that were a soft touch compared to what he actually did. And pardoned his son for crimes that he'd committed that they hadn't even charged him with yet, going back 11 years. And you're going to have the audacity to question who Trump is going to pardon? Get the fuck out of here. But congratulations to Meet the Press for getting their highest ratings in a year. Thanks to Dandy Don. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of these media people that aren't like true believers in the liberal cause, I think they're kind of happy that Trump won. Because as Ted Koppel once said, Trump is, his quote was, very, very good for baseball. He's good for business, dude. Like, well, I think the true believers are on cable news. I think the network news anchors, the people who are on ABC, CBS, NBC, they're all business. They're operating at the highest levels. Like, who's the head? Who hosts Meet the Press now? Who hosts Meet the Press? Oh, Kristen Welker is the host. I thought she was like a 60 Minutes, like a correspondent or whatever. What does she make per year? Kristen Welker salary. Not much information about her salary. She only makes $3 million a year. Wait a minute. So these fucking cable news people are making more money than the host of Meet the Press? Get the fuck out of here. How much did what's his name make? Who was the main guy? How much was not Tim Tom Russert, right? How much was Tim Russert's salary? That's what I'm looking for. How much was Tim Russert's salary? I know it wasn't $20,000 a year. In 1991, Meet the Press netted about, I don't want to know how much it makes. Signs record deal with CB. I have to subscribe to read a 13-year-old article. I'm good. Thank you. $7 million a year. Tim Russert and Brian Williams when they were doing Meet the Press. This chick makes $3 million? Guys, don't tell me that. That means I've got to be like, oh, women clearly aren't paid as much as men to do the same work. I don't want to admit that. I just want to admit, yeah, this bitch fucking sucks. She was a discount hire. Tim Russert's way better. It's not like everybody's out. Okay, go to Rachel Maddow. How much Rachel Maddow makes? And she's like part-time at this point. It seems like she's taking a leave every other month. She's a lesbian. She ain't even having kids. Rachel Maddow's salary. $30 million cunt fuck dollars a year. And if you've been following cunt fuck crypto, it's doing very well against the dollar. So Rachel Maddow's making $30 million a year. Host of NBC Nightly News salary. No. I want to know. God damn it, this is difficult. $7 million a year. The host of NBC's Nightly News. So, wow, the cable news people make more money than the network news anchors. That actually mildly blows my mind. Nick Buster asking if they're getting paid in Kiki bucks. I saw yesterday that Keanu was giving people 100 million Kiki dollars each. Maybe that's why her audience size is shrinking. It's inflation. You keep fucking printing Kiki bucks like that. I remember back in the day when she was still doing Steel Toe, I was talking to SP about this. I was like, Keanu was doing like 120 people a night at a time, which, don't get me wrong, I'd hang myself if I was doing that number, but like that was really good for, a channel with 3,500 subscribers or whatever. And now, Keanu and I are fine. Like, this isn't me shitting on her, but like now she's doing significantly lower numbers. And back when she was doing 120 people, she was giving out like 10,000 Kiki bucks at a time. Now I see that she's given out like 100 million Kiki bucks at a time, and I'm just saying that maybe the inflation could be the issue. By the way, MSO, thank you very much. He said that ghost guns are guns with no serial number. I thought that was kind of what it was. Midland Armory. Midland Armory says ghost gun is the political term for one that is usually made privately and lacks a serial number. There we go. Derek at Midland Armory also says, here's a tip for anyone building your own guns. Now, wait a minute. Before I read this, are you getting me indicted? I don't need to be dealing with anything else right now. Here's a tip for anyone building your own guns. Put a bullshit name on it with a bullshit serial number. You're good to go. I don't know if I should be telling people that. Am I supposed to be saying stuff like that? Copperhead says, can someone explain to me the purpose of Kiki bucks? I think it was just a fun thing she likes to do. Triple N says shots fired on Kiki. No, I was trying to say it in a matter-of-fact way. I wasn't trying to sound shitty. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says we are talking about Kiki Bucks when we could be looking at Lexi Hall bikini thirst traps. All right, here you go. Lexi. I wasn't impressed with Lexi Hall the first time you showed me her pictures, but okay, here you go. I mean, she has small titties. Like, if I want to see someone in a bikini, it's because I want, some tits with some weight to them, I want, what? That's what I'd like to see some fucking tits. I'd like to see, if they can't touch each other, fucking get them out of here. I don't need to see them. It looks weird when women have small tits, but they're tall. Just, it doesn't look right. Like, if you're a tiny little person and you're like 90 pounds and like you got no titties, like, that's normal. That's fine. But if you're tall and you're wearing a bikini, like, I don't want to go up to people and be like, excuse me, like, are you, how long have you been cancer free? I don't want to go up to people and ask questions like that. It's not nice. It's rude, but I don't know if I'll be able to stop myself. Numero uno Josh Denny fan says all athletes have small tits. Look at Livy Dunn. I know they have small tits. That's why I'm not interested. That's why when I look at that, when you say, hey, look up this athlete, I go, that's fucking, I like pro wrestling chicks with giant fake tits. Those are my kind of athletes, Throw me old school Madison Rain. I'm a happy guy. Show me Ashley Massaro. Of course, not in her current state. She's dead. But, Maria Kanellis. I'm a happy guy. These weird power forwards with, like, long horse faces and dude tits. I'm good. You can think they're hot. That's fine. I'm not insulting you in the least. But I don't agree with numero uno Josh Denny fan when he says tits in all sizes are nice. No. I don't have to, like, say that everyone deserves a trophy. It's not that expensive to make them nice. Fucking make them nice. Or don't complain. I shouldn't. You know what? Maybe a Celsius before this show was not appropriate. Hey, speaking of creepy, former U.S. Representative Anthony Weiner wants to run for office again. Hey, he's back. You remember Anthony Weiner? He's the guy who was sending pictures of the outline of his cock to, like, 17-year-olds when he was sitting next to his kid. While his wife was, like, the right-hand woman on the Hillary Clinton campaign. He's just taking pictures of his cock while he's babysitting. That guy. Carlos Danger. That was his name on, like, the dating sites and stuff where he'd find hookers and loose women, and then he would send them pictures of the outline of his cock. He wants to run for office again. He wants to start small. City council in New York City. Good for him. It's a fucked up enough city, right? It almost seems like being a criminal is like a prerequisite for holding office in New York City at this point. I mean, Eric Adams has those federal charges. Why not? That city councilman in New York who changed the rules so that Donald Trump could be sued by that E. Jean Carroll chick for R-wording her, allegedly. That funniest thing about that guy changes the rules so that Trump can be sued, and then they use that rule to sue him for R-wording someone. You can't make it up. But Anthony Weiner is looking to make a political comeback. Remember, Anthony Weiner was sending pictures of his cock while he was a congressman, and they kicked him out. He had to resign. And then he went, I'm going to make a political comeback. I'm going to run for the mayor of New York. And he was winning. It was right after Bloomberg was done. It was between him and de Blasio, and Anthony Weiner was going to win. And they found him still sending pictures of his cock to whores. And he wouldn't stop. He wanted to send pictures of his dick to ladies more than he wanted to be mayor of New York City, which, I mean, pretty wild. But now he wants to run for city council, and he thinks he can make a comeback. Am I rooting for him? Kind of. Like in a I want shit to be really weird and fucked up as long as I don't live there kind of way. Awesome, sure. Like New York City Council, that's not going to affect me at all. So sure, let's turn it into a shit show. Let's see how bad it can get over there. Let's see what Minnesota Democrats are going to try and copy in 2 years. Maybe all the Democrats in Minnesota will start taking pictures of their cock and sending it to prostitutes. You never know. We tend to follow what California and New York do. Does. We got one Democrat in Minnesota who could actually flip the Senate Republican because it looks like she's going to be convicted of burgling someone's house. Like she did. She broke into someone's house and just stole shit, and she got arrested for it. And she's a sitting Democratic senator in the state of Minnesota. But if she gets convicted, they got to kick her out, and they got to hold a special election for her seat. And they hold a 1-seat majority in the Senate. So if she ends up getting convicted of that and she has to go, and the Republicans win that seat, then the Republicans control the House and the Senate in Minnesota with the lovely Tim Walz as governor. It'll be a fun next 2 years. Can you teach Gino how to run a Rumble show? He puts Rumble rants on by screen sharing the chat and scrolling through. He also missed like 10 today, and a fan had to text him pictures of them. Oh, well, I'll just pass on the good deed Alex Stein did for me when he showed me how to use Chat Ninja. I'll send it to Gino, and I mean, he's a 55-year-old guinea, though. I mean, are they going to be able to figure that shit out? I don't know. Did I say that, Chernobog? Was that a quote? Wiener's starting small? His political career is a grower, not a shower. I get it. I understand. I can empathize. Good for you, Anthony. All right, I got to get the hell out of here, guys. We got a show coming up at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. I'm very excited for it, but I have to, I got to go now. And I got to go celebrate absolutely nothing fucking happening to me today. So we will talk to you a little bit later. Go have a great rest of your night. I will talk to you tomorrow morning, and we'll have an awesome time. Take it easy. See you then.